Hey golfers, in this next video I'll be talking about the perfect golf takeaway drill. Keep watching. Hi, it's Troy from hittingitsolid.com here. Thanks for watching. So the perfect golf takeaway drill. So it goes without saying, if you can make a great golf takeaway in your golf swing, it just makes the rest of the swing so much easier. You'll find you can hit the ball more consistently and have a lot more fun out on the golf course. So what does an ideal takeaway look like? Well, for me, it's holding that connection between our arms and the club all in one piece as we make that one piece movement away. And that's a really key to making a great takeaway. And in just a sec, I'm going to show you a simple drill, how you can practice this and get this move nailed in your game. So what does a great golf takeaway look like? So if I'm set up to one here, I'll show you from a couple of different angles. So from face on, we want that nice triangle that's set up. And we want to keep that all moving together in the takeaway, all moving as one piece, often called a one-piece takeaway. We want the wrist slightly hinging up, and that's a great position in the takeaway, which will flow onto the rest of the golf swing. So from down the line, this will show a bit clearer. And the other thing I want to see you do, as you make your takeaway, everything moving in one piece, I either want that club head in line with your hands on the way back or slightly outside in that position there. And preferably with the club head slightly aimed down. We don't want it to open in this position, but it's just slightly pointed down. And that's a great position at the end of the takeaway. We also want to make sure you get that little bit of hinge up with the wrists. If we don't hinge, it's very easy to pull the club inside. Any sort of pulling inside movement like that, or lifting up movement really savagely in the takeaway, will destroy the rest of your golf swing. And if you've ever seen any other golfers make poor swings or struggling, usually their takeaway was contributing a lot to that, because they were either snatching the club or rolling inside really quickly. So if you can follow those keys, you can make a great takeaway. So here's some more keys. The other thing a great golf swing takeaway does is it keeps your club head, your swing, on a great plane. And when your swing's on plane, it makes it much easier to play consistent golf. So from down the line, as I'm set up to one here, if I was to draw a line right through that shaft, through a swing plane or a hand plane there, as I make my takeaway, if I do everything correct, that club head should trace somewhere along that line. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if I'm doing my takeaway somewhat correctly, that should stay on that plane line. But if I turn my wrists inside or throw them out, get disconnected very early, it's very difficult to stay on that swing plane, and you've got to make compensations on the way down. So here's a simple drill you can practice to really make a great golf swing takeaway. Here's a simple drill you can practice at home or even on the driving range to make a great golf swing takeaway. You can see I've just popped a tee in the end of my grip. You can do this with either an iron or a driver, makes no difference. Now what I want you to do, this is going to give you great visual feedback of how your takeaway is moving. Now what I'd like to see you do, if you're doing this correctly, as we make our takeaway, I want that tee basically to keep on facing towards your body as we move the club away. So you can see there, as I move the club away, tee is pointing in towards me, still pointing in towards me. I've finished my takeaway, and now it's pointing at my legs here. If I do it incorrectly and I move my hands very quickly, the tee will point out this way towards the target. So really important, or if I snatch it up sort of too quickly, it's pointing down towards the ground. If I do my takeaway properly, I get that bit of hinge. You can get a slight bit of cupping in that lead wrist, even a flat lead wrist, but a slight bit of cupping is okay. That helps keep the club in that nice spot in the takeaway. I'll show you from this angle here. You can hit shots like this at the driving range, it's perfectly okay. Just made ourselves a really nice takeaway. This little tee in the end of the club gives you great visual feedback and can really help smooth out the whole golf swing once you nail the takeaway. It is so important. Now, another important thing is I've got another video coming up. Now, this talks about weight shift versus hip turn, another key part of the golf swing. So make sure you watch it. It's coming up. Do you want to know how to make an even better golf swing? Click and watch the video on your screen now. It's going to go into more detail about golf weight shift versus hip turn, which ties in really well with this video to help you make a great golf swing. Do you want to know how to play even better golf? Consider subscribing to the channel. And remember, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I will get back to you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.